Arriving in Manchester shortly after the outbreak of World War I, Norman travelled to Penzance and visited his widowed aunt Ellie, the sister of his mother Margaret. He was introduced to her family of 9 children, including his cousin Edna, who appeared white. Edna takes up the story recorded retrospectively in her 1969 diary. Into this August glory walked Norman Manley, scholar, sportsman, and a strange, strange personality. He had won the Rhodes, nearly died of typhoid, had a 100 yards record, which was a world record for a schoolboy. I was 14, and he stood there in front of the empty fireplace, his hands in his pockets, swaying, handsome, fawn-like, smiling mischievously. I studied him and met a mocking smile, and something somewhere deep down touched.
There is a certain ambiguity from the Jamaican perspective. Would Norman Manley have identified with the black in Black History Month? And on top of the question of how Manley viewed his own racial identity, there's the question of how others have assessed him, particularly from the standpoint of post-colonial Jamaica. Manley is revered in official histories of the Jamaican nation. As we've heard, during the process of post-colonial nation building, Jamaica reached for all the kind of traditional tropes that you would imagine with a formerly colonial state. And one of those was this idea of crafting a usable past for the new nation. And one of the methods they used for that is to create this set of national heroes. Manley fits very neatly into that. He's named a national hero on the 18th of October 1969. He's buried in National Heroes Park in downtown Kingston, alongside the likes of the 20th century's greatest Pan-African organizer, at least in my opinion, Marcus Garvey, and Samuel Sharp, who is an enslaved man and leader of the great 1831-2 revolt of the Jamaican enslaved. And just to close, I would say that in this call for a sort of self-surpassing nationalism, able to undo the legacies of colonialism, I think we can find a message for ourselves here at Black History Month and beyond, which is to sort of attempt to go beyond representation and to pursue decolonization instead, to really attack the structural legacies of colonialism and racism rather than just kind of their visible effects.
I remember first walking into Jesus College, where I had no idea that Norman Manley actually attended this college. I chose it because it was Welsh. As a Rastafarian, I just couldn't see myself existing under the cross of St. George, so I could do the Red Dragon, and that's why I came here. So I screamed at dinner because I saw that portrait, and it confirmed for me that I had made the right choice and that my intersectional imposter issues would survive this journey. But my personal connection to the Manley name actually started with Edna Manley. So I knew of Edna Manley before Norman Manley, which is probably a heresy for a Jamaican to say. I'm struck by the way Edna Manley's own artistic, political, and institutional journey mimics much of what various cultural philosophers write about. As we know, looking around us, we're led to think politics does not only happen in Parliament, it doesn't only happen in street protests, but it also happens in studios and on TV. And when I think of Edna Manley, I think some of her work foreshadows in many instances and parallels the political journey to Jamaican selfhood and nationhood. In 1935, Edna Manley created this sculpture, and it transformed the elements of cultural capital in Jamaica because it refocused cultural capital less on Eurocentric notions, but on notions of the yearning of, for want of better terms, the black masses of Jamaica. This statue continues to stand on the waterfront of Kingston, and is one that I would see again every day. So I walked a lot around Kingston, and I remember as a child looking at this and feeling that sense of my issues and the issues of lower class Jamaicans and black Jamaicans are also not just economically important, but aesthetically and culturally important.
want to be free. I have been a slave, I know. Now the man who says that slaves be quite happy in slavery, that they do not want to be free. Now that man, he's either ignorant or a lying person. To be free is very sweet. Smell ripe mangoes on a tree. Heat of sun rays caressing me. There's beauty all around in all things great and small. The song in my heart leading me to pastures fresh and new. Oh, the yearn to be free. Oh, the yearn to be free. To be free is very sweet. Very sweet it is to be free. Very sweet it is to be free. Got the breeze on my face and the gentle laughter surrounding me. The melody of waves, it just washes away the pain. The spring in my step, leading me to pastures fresh and new. Oh, the yearn to be free. Oh, the yearn to be free. To be free is very sweet. Very sweet it is to be free. Very sweet it is to be free. To be free is very sweet. Very sweet it is to be free.
To hope implies to take action, to do something. It relies on a different mindset, therefore it takes effort. To hope is hard work. It requires a can-do, will-do attitude. It requires patience and impatience. It requires tact and diplomacy. For to hope is to believe. So be prepared to graft. For such a small word, it is often hard to achieve. But to not try is not worth contemplating. Hope is enlightenment. So breathe. Fill your thoughts with 1,000 hopes. For hope induces self-respect, dignity, pride. I'm hopeful. I said I'm hopeful.
I'm hopeful.
I'm forever hopeful.
I'm forever hopeful.
I'm full of hope.
I'm full of
I
hope.
said I am full of hope.
I am full of hope.
Amen.
Amen.